All right, I guess we'll go ahead and get started. Can I stand over here? Is this okay? All right. I anticipate a little larger crowd this evening, but that's okay. That's why I printed off a bunch of copies of everything. Let's see how many we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11. Thank you. All right. The financial report was emailed out today. I have a copy of it up here if anybody needs to see it. But do we have a motion to accept the financial report? And second. What's your call sign again? I'm sorry.
KQ4
VPA. Okay. All right. All those in favor? Okay. And the minutes from the June meeting were emailed out this afternoon as well. I don't know if I printed those out or not. Probably not, but there wasn't a whole lot. There was no business conducted. We just talked about field day, and we also talked about the repeater situation. The duplexer, if anybody's not aware, we're driving it with 80 watts and we're getting 8 watts out. So John thinks there's something wrong with it. It's a very old duplexer. It's been up there for at least 15 years. It's been up there. It was in use when John first started taking over the repeater duties. So it's been up there who knows how long. So he was thinking it might be repairable, might have to be replaced. So he was going to try and get some more information about it and maybe give us some options. But anyway, if you want to look at the meeting minutes, like I said, they were out on groups.io this afternoon. Do we have a motion to accept it? All those in favor? All right. The vote for the bylaws change to add the public information officer. Has anybody in here not voted already? All right. Yeah, I'm playing by the letter of the of the document, the letter of the law. It said ballot, so nope. And I think you did. Let me check. I printed that out too. Yeah, I've got pens up here. Hang on. I've got. You may need a pen. Okay. I thought I saw where you had voted. So let me double check. Yes, you did vote. Keith, you voted. Yeah. Can't vote twice, unfortunately. Thank you, sir. All right, the situation we find ourselves in is, oh, sorry.
I need votes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wonder if W4GGM can vote. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Situation we find ourselves in is that we have to have 2/3 of the membership vote in order for it to pass. Thank you. And as of this afternoon, that means 33 votes are required. And as of this afternoon, I had 21 plus 3, 24. So we needed 9. So it's 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. So I need 3 more votes. Yeah, 4 more votes. Well, I went through the list, I double checked it, make sure that it was current. Oh, I got 2 more votes. Paul voted, and
He's not eligible.
Robert Dillingham.
He can vote, but
1, 3, 7. That's a good question.
Jerry, say, do you want me to post on our Facebook page? Remind everybody? Do that.
The official document right here. All right, it says, the membership will be asked to vote on the proposal after all discussions have been made. Voting should be ballot or proxy vote. Any regular member may vote via personal email or have someone else vote in their place by giving permission to that person in writing. After ballots have been collected, the president shall appoint a committee of 3 to count the ballots and result given members. A 2/3 majority vote of membership shall be required. Secretary will determine the 2/3 majority has voted to approve the measure. So you would be the one to determine. If 2/3 vote cannot be collected for 2 consecutive regular meetings, then the members present, along with the club president or vice president, may conduct any and all business necessary in accordance to the bylaws. So I take that to mean you got two meetings, and then you just, whoever shows up at the next meeting is going to determine it. So yeah, we can leave it open. So that's good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then my 21 original. So 28. And I counted 51 members that are eligible to vote. Family members, according to the bylaws, are not eligible. So we got 51 active paid members right now. So if you want to go over this and check my math and make sure, I marked everybody that voted online, and I just put,
Okay.
I went, this is the roster,
Gotcha.
and I put a V there next to where they voted. All right, so we've done that. And these were the 3 online votes, or the 3 email votes. And I'll print out the other 2. So that's in limbo, but hopefully we can get enough votes to push that on through. The next thing, a big thing I wanted to discuss was the amendment to the Constitution, and I printed out a copy for everybody. I just printed out the Constitution and print the bylaws because number one, we're not changing anything in the bylaws in this go round, and number two, I wanted to keep the number of dead trees down to the minimum. I thought I'd go over this and just make sure if anybody had any questions or suggestions or additions or subtractions. Everything that's highlighted is new, and everything that's in strike through is what's going to be removed. If you want to, I can just go through this step by step and explain the rationale behind the changes. Is that what everybody comfortable doing that, or you just want to read through it real quick and ask questions? I can do it either way. Okay.
I said, if you want to talk through a brief kind of
All right.
few of the tricky spots, maybe. And, I feel like a little discussion is always helpful.
Yeah, we'll just start on the first page, the preamble. It said we were a nonprofit, unincorporated association. We are actually a nonprofit, public benefit Tennessee State Corporation. We have to do an annual filing each year with the Secretary of State of Tennessee. So that was just flat out incorrect. So that's the reason why I changed that. I did add something in there about Murray County and surrounding counties. I know we got a lot of members that live outside Murray County now, so I wanted to include them. I changed laws to governing document because that's actually, I ran it through one AI. I want to say which one, I think it was ChatGPT, and it said that that's outdated terminology. So I changed laws to governing document. And then the bullet points down here, I just kind of reworded them. I never did like the third one that says to provide common good for the community as we can through our expertise in communications. I thought, well, what does that mean? So I fleshed that out a little bit. A lot of these bullet points I got from other Ham Radio Club constitutions. I just copy and pasted a lot of this. I felt like it's good to specify that we do provide emergency services and that we do provide services in support of charitable agencies and public services. And that's more in line of what a nonprofit organization would do anyway. And then the rest of it, I just kind of reworded a little bit and fleshed it out. Like the last one, to sponsor and encourage the VE testing program, I changed that to that we provide licensing classes, test sessions, and educational programs, which as we become an ARRL special services club, that's some of the things we're supposed to be doing. That's some of the things I want to explore doing in the next year anyway. So, so that was the reasoning behind that. That last paragraph in the preamble, that was common to a lot of nonprofit club documents, and that's something that the IRS likes to see.
There's nothing in this thus far that requires us to provide communication.
No.
Emergencies and
No.
obligates us to.
It's just the things that we like to do or we want to do. Yeah. The next page, membership. I did change where it says regular and family. And I took this again from another Ham Club constitution. I felt it made more sense if we controlled the membership in the bylaws. We might want to decide to add a different tier of membership, like associate or whatever. And if we did, we could just amend the bylaws. We would have to go back and amend the Constitution just for that one sentence. So a little bit of forward thinking. Down section 5, article 3, I added that the fiscal year shall be April 1st to March 31st. That's what it's been anyway. I'm just putting that in there again, that's an IRS thing. I added the article 4 limitations. That's all new. And these are two things the IRS definitely looks for when they look through this document. Number one, they want to see that no officer, member, or director is going to financially benefit from the club, which, as far as I know, has never happened anyway. But that's, like I said, that's just something that they want to see in writing. And Section 2, political activity. The club will never campaign for a local government official or donate to their campaign or endorse a candidate or anything like that. And again, to my knowledge, that's never happened. But that's something that they want to see in the document. Article 5, officer, Section 2. I just reworded that to where it made more sense to me. That kind of officers may succeed themselves in any office sounded a little clunky. So I just reworded that. General membership. I took this again from another club where you'd have to have 10% of the full membership at any meeting to have a quorum. And no business can be conducted without at least one officer present, which again, that's the way it's always been. We easily meet that most every meeting. I added a section where board meetings could be held either in person or by teleconference. Under rules of procedure, I put in there, and this was an ARRL recommendation, that we follow Robert's Rules of Order, which we sort of do an informal version of that anyway. Yes.
Under officers, back on the previous page, you added public information officer.
Yeah.
You need to add that here too.
Under the limitations.
Under Article 5, officers, Section 1.
No, because it's not an elected position. It's an appointed position. It's basically like the newsletter editor. It's the same thing.
Okay.
In fact, my original intent was to replace the newsletter editor with this, but then I was looking at some other ARRL special services documentation, and they mentioned working with the club's newsletter editor. And I thought, well, I better not take it out. I better leave it in there. We may at some point revive the newsletter. We may have somebody step forward and say, yeah, I want to be the editor, in which case it's still there. But for all intents and purposes, this is the same thing as a newsletter editor. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. And we sort of do that now anyway. We do like a rough around the edges, less formal version of it. So it's not anything new. Under Article 7, amendments, again, I just reworded that last sentence to make sure it emphasized that it was voting eligible membership. Again, because, there's certain, family members can't vote. So I just want to put that in there. The big thing is Article 8, dissolution. The language was already sort of halfway there, that it had to be donated. If the mark was dissolved, then all the assets had to be donated to a recognized charity or charities as selected by the board of directors. So that kind of is in the spirit of what the IRS wants, but I didn't think it was spelled out and specific enough, because all the examples I found online spelled out had to be a 501c3 organization. And that's an IRS thing. So again, I took a lot of this from a couple of different clubs, constitutions. In order for the club to be dissolved, it has to be by unanimous vote of the board of directors, and then a 2/3 vote of the voting members at a specially called meeting. And then in Section 2, it's the disposal of assets. If we've loaned something out to a member, or a member has loaned something to the club, then it all has to be returned within 15 days. The board has to pay off all the debts within 30 days. And then any leftover equipment has to be, and again, this is an IRS thing, it has to be sold or donated, and has to be donated or sold, and the proceeds has to go towards a 501c3 organization. It can't just go to any charity. It specifically has to be, a tax exempt charity. So, and I just stuck in there amateur radio club or organization. I figured nobody else is going to want all of our stuff anyway. So, that just made sense. And then, we have to notify everybody that we're dissolving. And then any funds left over have to go to a 501c3 tax exempt organization. And under no circumstances, and again, this is an IRS thing, can any officer, director, or member or receive a portion of the assets or funds. So somebody couldn't come in and shut the club down and write themselves a big fat check and take off. That's sort of illegal. So, all right. So any question about any of that or comment?
We're going to vote on this.
Yeah, it has to be it's just like the amendment. It has to be a 2/3 vote. Yeah. So, but I want to go over the meeting first before opening the voting up. So,
There's not enough here tonight to vote anyway.
yeah, it's true. So, yeah, this would have to be a thing where it'd be like the amendment. I'll set up a ballot in Ham Club Online, and then if somebody wants to email it out, they can. Then I guess we could vote at the next meeting. I don't think there's anything that prevents us from doing that. Yeah, it just says, well, it wouldn't even have to be, it doesn't even specify it has to be at a meeting. It's just a 2/3 majority of the membership is required. So we could open the voting up tomorrow and just let it run until we get the votes we need. Either yay or nay. Any other questions? I really think this is, for the longevity of the club, I really think this is something we need to pursue. There's things that are going to happen in the future, like duplexers dying or repeaters dying, or any kind of different scenarios where we're going to need funds. If we're tax exempt, we can apply for grants. The ARRL past couple of years, I don't know if they're doing it this year or not, but they've had club grants available. But that's one of the things, you got to be tax exempt because they're tax exempt. So that has to flow down. So we have to have it for that. If people want to donate to the club, they can write it off on their taxes. We wouldn't have to pay sales tax if we buy something, or if we get somebody's services. Like if we had to get somebody to climb the tower, that's expensive enough as it is. If they charge tax on top of that, which I don't know if they do, I'm assuming they do. So all kinds of things like that, I think is very beneficial. And then there's all sorts of stuff, free services you can get for nonprofits. Google, I don't know if you're familiar with they've called it like different things. It used to be like Google Work, and then it was their Office Suite. Yeah. If you're a nonprofit, it's totally free, and you can sign as many people up for it as you want. So, and with that, we could get Google Meet, so we could drop Zoom. We could get club could get email addresses. The club could get free website hosting. So it's, lots of stuff we can do that we can't do otherwise. I applied for the Google Workspace and sent them our state, because the state form that we do every year says we're tax exempt, and they said, you got to be 501c3. So I'm like, okay. So I think it's the right thing to do. I think maybe, judging by the way the Constitution was written and the fact that they filed with the state, I think that was probably the original intent. It just never got carried on to its conclusion. Yeah. So, and I've talked to a couple people over the years that said, yeah, we did that already, but nobody can provide any documentation. And then I looked on and you actually go on the IRS website and look to see if somebody is tax exempt, and we're not on there. So either they did it and it's lapsed, or it was just never done. So in either case, we got to do it. We got to do it again anyway. So, with that, I did investigate what it would take to file. We can file on what they call a Form 1023-EZ, which I guess is like a 1040-EZ. It's all online. You pay a $275 fee, and then it has to go get approved by whomever. And then they'll send us a letter saying that we are officially, exempt organization. And then we can take that, we can go to the state and say, hey, we're exempt, and then we can get our sales tax exemption from the state. So it's a little involved process, but yeah, I think so. I think 275 is a lot to swallow, but I think we'll save money just right off. I mean, if we can get rid of Zoom, that's just one time. Yeah. I mean, if we get rid of Zoom for 2 years, we got it paid and then some. So, with that being said, does anybody? I will need authority to do that. So, does anybody want to bring a motion to? Anybody want to second it? Okay, Travis. All those in favor? Okay. So that just to clarify, that's to authorize me to do the $275 to file it when the time comes. Can't do that till we get the Constitution done. So. The other business elections are in August for the club officers. It's getting that time again. So does anybody want to volunteer to be the election committee chairperson? Don't everybody step forward at once.
The auction.
September. Yeah, it would be I think past couple of years we've done it the weekend after Labor Day. Is that right? I don't know if it's on mine or not. Because I think one year we accidentally scheduled it for that.
Yeah, September 7th last year.
All right. So, yeah, there were people out of town, couldn't make it. So we did it the following weekend. So that would be.
6th will be the same weekend this year, but we did the next week. 13th.
And the weather has seemed to be pretty good. I mean, it's not blazing hot and it's not freezing cold. So I need to check and see if we've got anything reserved at the park. If we don't, then I know I said something to Paul about it. I don't know how far that got or if he checked but if it's not, I can get something. Or worst case scenario, like that one year we had it out in Mount Pleasant at was it Williams Park, I think was the name of it. Everybody seemed to like that. So, or we can do, I think one year we did it at where they do the bike race. Name of that park escapes me. Yeah, I think we did it out there one year. So I need to make a note to do that. Let's see what else. One thing on the tax exemption, you talked about the filing fee. It is a one-time fee, but we do have to file a return every year. But they call it a postcard return because I think it's how. Yeah, it's like, do you still exist? Yes. Did you make more than 50,000? Yeah. No. Okay. It's easier than filing your individual tax return. Yeah. Let's see what else. The VE test session is Saturday, July 19th at the Southgate Church of Christ at 9 a.m. Got one person for sure signed up. I've got 2 or 3 different people that have emailed me and expressed interest. So if you're wanting to upgrade or you know nobody that wants to upgrade, we still got plenty of slots open. And I think that's the election committee chair. Anybody? Anybody? Basically, all you do is count votes. Well, I don't think an officer can do it. Yeah. Now I got.
Really just counting votes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'll email you about it when it gets closer to time. That's one of those things. It's in the bylaws that we have to do. So you just have to have an impartial third person to count the votes. And if anybody wants to run for office, there's your man right there. Let him know. Let's see.
I guess I'm exempt.
Well, no, because funny you should mention that. One year I volunteered to be election committee chairperson, and next thing I know, I'm vice president. So anything can happen. Yeah. Well, I wanted to start early so I'd have plenty of time, and it's 7:00. So I think that's everything. I can't think of anything else. Does anybody have anything they want to bring up? Or
As far as the repeater, we're just waiting on John for an update. Is that for?
yeah, he was headed out of town. I'm assuming he's already left, but he was going to try and talk to some folks and see if he could get some more information about pricing. Like if he I think he guesstimated 2,000, but he wasn't sure. I know I've seen them online for a lot less, but I don't know what kind of quality we're dealing with. You know, you can go on eBay and you find them these Chinese manufactured duplexers for next to nothing. I don't know how well they work. The one we got up there now, he did say it was like a commercial grade. Like everything we got up there right now that's in use is commercial grade stuff. You know, it's so.
What kind of price range are you talking about?
Now some of the ones I've seen online are like $500-$600, but now like I said, I don't know what kind of quality we're looking at. You know, if they have to be tuned. I know there's like a tuning process you got to go through to get the frequency set up right on them. So I don't know. There was, when we were investigating getting another repeater up there for digital, what's that outfit that does DMR that sends you an email 5 times a day? Yes, thank you. How did you know what that was? They had some pretty decently priced ones, I remember. But I remember thinking, how, you know, because they weren't very big at all. I'm pulling up their website right now. All right, they've got a VHF duplexer. A VHF duplexer. I'm assuming this is ham grade. It's $800, or and it doesn't say what it's rated for. Transmit and receive 2-meter VHF 400-watt duplexer is $3,000. Amateur and commercial duplexer 250-watt is $2,150. Yeah, this VHF duplexer, it's just a little black box. It's like what you see like on eBay. It says these are not for 2-meter ham repeaters. They will not handle 600 kilohertz splits. Okay. Huntsville Hamfest is coming up. We might get lucky and find something down there. Occasionally you do see them up for sale. Now, of course, the thing is, what kind of condition are they in?
Right.
You know, and you can't really test them. You know, so you got to take them at their word.